Hello, I'm Caskey Dickson, and I've been managing production servers for just a little bit under 30 years. We're going to talk about operating system upgrades and getting our butt to Mars. We've been trying to get to Mars for a long time. There are dozens upon dozens, if not hundreds, of projects that have been created in an attempt to get to Mars. Here's a few of my favorite. I especially like the committee named A Mission Designed for International Manned Mars Mission, and of course the SpaceX program, which was supposed to land in 2018, but they pushed that to 2022 almost immediately. I don't think they're going to get there in time. But the absolute one that takes the cake is Mars One, which was done by, it was a bunch of Dutch businessmen who basically put out a call for the general public to come and sign up to be the first people to die on Mars. It was always going to be a one-way trip. That was the plan. And about 500,000 people signed up to say, yes, I would like to go be the first person to die on Mars. And of course, as with everything, there was an associated reality TV show that was supposed to go along with it. Haven't heard much about that lately. The company went bankrupt sometime around 2000. So what is getting to Mars and operating system upgrades in common? Well, they're right there. They're supposedly very easy, and yet it's always impossible to make it happen smoothly. So let's actually go to Mars. What can we do that will get us there without slipping and delaying our trip to Mars? Well, since we have years of advance notice, with many years of planning available to us, why aren't we using it? We know 5 years in advance when the current 2004 LTS release of Ubuntu is going to die. We knew when 1604 was going to die. It was just a month or so ago. And yet everybody was caught out come January saying, oh my goodness, we need to upgrade our operating systems. Well, the simple solution, if you've planned ahead, is you spread your upgrades across your infrastructure like peanut butter. I'm going to give you just a very couple of simple commands that'll help you do that. Essentially, you need to commit to the fact that during that year, you're going to be supporting 2 different operating systems in your production environment, because that's the only way you can smooth out the release process. You have 12 months to work with. Unfortunately, once you take out holidays, slow periods, vacation, people's going on vacation, release freezes, etc., you end up with maybe 9 usable months. Well, the first 1 to 3 months of those is going to be taken up with validating your production software is working correctly in that environment. Whatever your methodology is, make sure that your software that actually earns your company money and keeps you in business and what you sell to your customers does what it's supposed to do under the new version. Then, once you've validated it, you need to make sure that you don't add to the problem by bringing out new versions of the old operating system. All new installs, all new deployments should make use of the new environment, and the upgrade problem is one of getting the old environment into the new environment. So assuming you have 1,000 servers and 120 working days in those 6 months, that means that 10 servers a day are rolling over to the new version of the operating system. Knowing that and knowing the calendar and knowing the timetable, make that part of your hard planning landscape for product releases, feature releases, and other management operations and functions. Make sure you know your marketing division's plans for bringing new customers in. Obviously, validating your software comes first. You have the 1 to 3 months to do that. Then just simply go about doing your upgrades. You use your Puppet, your Chef, your Ansible, your whatever script to essentially get these commands to run in effect on your production systems. Of course, if you're using the tear down and repave method, you just repave an environment with the new upgraded version. But of course, we're spreading out through that entire 6 months, not doing it all on one day company-wide, because that would be, well, silly. So once you get your upgrade commands running on those machines, each day, 10 servers roll over to the new version. In your telemetry for your actual software packages, you should be including the current OS release as one of the variables, one of the dimensions that you can slice and dice on so that you can tell when a problem is related to the version of the operating system that something's running. Once you've done all that, it's just a matter of how do you go about assigning individual hosts to individual points in the upgrade time period. You could come up with some complicated configuration file or scheduling mechanisms, but I like something very simple. Simple's always great because it works and it's easy. I just hash the host name, take the first 2 characters of it, and you get a hexadecimal number between 0 and 256. You automatically have 256 bins that all of your servers fit into. You then use DNS to distribute the current bin number that should be scheduled for upgrade. That bin number and every bin number below it should be running the newest version. If a host comes up at boot time and it notices it's not running the version that it is assigned to the bin that it's in, it does its own upgrade. You use DNS because there are many distributed configuration management solutions out there. DNS is almost always guaranteed to be there and available very early on in your provisioning process. And once you've done that, add a guard script that monitors things, and you'll find that after the end of those 6 months, you have now arrived on Mars.